Hi, it's Cynthia from Inside Our Normal. So I wanted to talk to you today about unit studies. So we've been using them a lot for science and other subjects because it lets us guide our homeschool to study the things that we want to study and to study them at various depths depending on the kids' interests. So I really love them and I love to find them other places, but I also like to build my own. But building my own can take up a lot of time. And my kids never stop wanting to learn, and I totally want to break. So I was really excited to learn about the Heron Books Young Scientist series, which was designed for students to do independently. And they're for 4th through 6th grade, which is perfect for my kids right now. So I really wanted to try this out and see how it did, freeing up my time and test it out to share with you about how it works for our outside the box kids. So the series has a variety of topics, including the human body, the world of plants, world under a microscope in the closer look book, and light bulbs, switches, and batteries, which is what we used. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about how that worked for us. It is a secular science program, but it was a great fit for our family right now. So I picked this unit, the light bulbs, switches, and batteries, because my little engineer, who is a 4th grader, always wants to know how things work. I haven't found another introductory unit on the topic anywhere to help him. And I have to admit, I was a little curious about a company whose name sounds a lot like mine, Heron. So here we are looking at the Heron Books Young Scientist series. So let's take a look at what's included when you purchase one of these Young Scientist unit studies. So I've got all the materials right here, and I can't wait to show you. So the first thing you get is a teacher resource pack. So you notice it's nice and thin. I'll go through it in just a minute. You also get your reusable textbook. You get a student learning guide, and you get a Young Scientist journal where they'll record all of their learning. So let's take a look at what these teacher resources are. So it comes in a nice little envelope. So because it's independent for the students, there's not a whole lot of teacher resources here because this is something you want to be able to hand to your students and let them use. So the first thing is you have a letter that's going to introduce you to how the programs work. You're going to receive a supply list of what other things around the house or that you might be able to purchase at the hardware store you're going to use for the unit. And then this is a unit study that includes an exam. So there is a test for your student to take at the end of the unit, as well as the answers as well. And the last thing that's in here is a certificate of achievement for you to fill out when they finish the unit. So those are the teacher resources. You'll notice there's no lesson plans in the teacher resources because this is an independent study program. And so the lesson plans are in the student learning guide. So this is where your lesson plans are, and these are designed to be read and used directly by the students. So let's take a look at page 1. So it's going to tell the students how to use the learning guide. So it's going to teach them how to learn independently. And then it's going to teach them what pages to read, what activities to do. And at the end of each lesson, or it kind of lines up to the chapters in the book, it actually has a checkbox for them to check in with you as the parent or teacher. So it actually has those teacher check-ins right at the end of each lesson. So it's actually right there so that they don't forget to share what they've learned with you. So they're going to be reading assignments in the book, in the unit book, and then they're going to record their learning in the Young Scientist journal. I really like the journal. It's a nice size for kids to write and not be overwhelmed with feeling that they have to fill the whole page. But I also really loved that there's a combination of line pages and dotted pages, as well as blank pages, graph paper. So there's a variety of kinds of paper for the kids to write and draw and record their learning. So it doesn't feel like it's just a notebook to write words in. They are also motivated and encouraged to draw what they're learning too. So, which is a great flexibility that it offers for our outside the box learners who may struggle with writing. A couple things that you can consider about if this will fit your outside the box kids. And that is, if you have a struggling reader, being able to independently read the directions as well as read your source material may be more of a challenge. But even though it's a student learning guide, you can still use it as a teacher's guide and just do the activities as a family and read together. So it's still really flexible. There's no emphasis to complete it in a set amount of time. It doesn't even say day 1, day 2. It's just lesson 1, 2. So you could take several days to do a lesson. So it's designed to be self-paced, and you can work as slow or fast. So you don't have to do them all in 1 year or anything like that. So it's really designed to work really well for outside the box kids. And being a unit study, you can pick and choose from the 11 units that will be available for the 2022-2023 school year. You can pick and choose which ones your kids want to use and decide how long it takes you to complete them, or what other projects you may take on or resources you might want to add to the unit from your own library or other interests that you have or questions that come up while you work through the material. So thanks for joining me to learn about the Young Scientist series from Heron Books, and I hope you'll check it out for your outside the box kids. See you around.